Welcome to the introduction of CyberSense. CyberSense is an analytics solution that is fully integrated with the Dell EMC cyber recovery product. Analytics adds value to the cyber recovery solution by giving customers added protection and insight into their data that is contained in the vault. Why CyberSense? It's important to understand that CyberSense is not a replacement for real-time malware detection from vendors like McAfee and others. What it is, it assumes that these have failed. This real-time protection is not working as effectively as it needs to, and malware is getting inside the data center. That is a fact based on the attacks that are occurring today. So the fact that they still occur means that these solutions are not bulletproof and are not fully 100% effective. So what CyberSense does is it adds an additional layer of protection on top of this real-time malware detection. It provides a solution that assumes that this real-time protection is going to fail and that malware and attacks are going to get into the data center, and allows you to really do reporting at a file-centric or database-centric view of the data to really determine where attacks are occurring, where slow attacks are occurring, to understand immediately when they start so that you can find them, stop them, and replace the data, typically within a backup cycle. So with CyberSense, the different attack vectors that CyberSense is focused on is a lot about encryption, file-based encryption, either full encryption or partial encryption, encryption where they change file extension. So it really looks at typical types of attacks where there may be encryption inside of a file or archival of files, replacing files with decoys or deletion of files and creation of new files. Also, beyond files, it also looks at database page encryption. So this is really a list of the types of attack vectors that CyberSense is really designed to thwart. And this is a pretty extensive list and represents most of the typical attacks that occur today. So in terms of data types, CyberSense supports unstructured files. So it really allows you to protect your key documents. So many customers may look at just putting databases into the vault. With CyberSense, you can put some of your key unstructured files like your contracts, agreements, intellectual property, financial documents that are critical for your business into the vault for protection as well. In terms of databases, protecting those business critical applications such as your Oracle and SQL applications, as well as email databases like Exchange and Notes into the vault. So CyberSense focuses on both unstructured files as well as databases. Let's talk a little bit about the workflow for CyberSense. This is the workflow of CyberSense integrated with the Dell EMC cyber recovery product. The first step, and this is really a role of the cyber recovery product, is to replicate the backup data. So that's moving the backup data into the vault. One of the unique features of index engines is that index engines can support direct indexing of backup formats or backup images. So as you move data into the vault using Networker or Avamar or possibly other third-party backup software, index engines sees that as a backup image and can index the contents in those images. So the next step is an index engine's CyberSense process of scanning the backup image. Scanning it will index the content, the files, and the database content in there. Again, you don't need the original backup software. So in the case where you don't have the original or any backup software contained within the vault, index engines doesn't need it. So it won't require it, won't need it to process, and can scan those backup images. Once scanning those images, then the analysis occurs. So analyzing the files and the databases, they're really analyzed for indicators of an attack. So as the data moves in, and this could be even the first pass of moving data into the vault, there's a lot of analytics that are applied to see if an attack is actually occurring with this data. There's 40+ statistics that are generated in this analysis. And these are the statistics. There's a detailed white paper on more information about this that's available as well, that you can reach out to us and we'll be happy to send it to you. But these statistics are, again, these 40 plus statistics are designed into two different buckets. The first one is the first pass. So even with the first pass or the first population into the vault, there's a number of analytics or statistics that are applied that could see and determine if it's a clean set of data or if the data has actually been corrupted and is had some level of cyber attack on this data. So first pass would look at what we call entropy. So entropy is looking at typically the random access or randomness of files. So when you encrypt a file, or the entropy score would increase. So we have a score of 0 to 100 of entropy, and it looks at not only entropy of files, but it also looks at entropy in a database as well. So pages of a database. The other thing that it looks at is corrupt files. It looks at file type extension mismatch. It looks at files with common ransomware file extension like .loki, and it looks at a number of different things like signature mismatch on Sentinel files. So you can define Sentinel files like executables, and really track to see if the signature of those files is changing. So this is something that could be done in the initial scan, and you can look at the data to determine if there's any kind of corruption that's occurred on that data of the initial population in the vault. The benefit of using CyberSense in the vault environment, the cyber recovery environment, is that there'll be backups occurring into the vault on a periodic basis, on a frequent basis. So CyberSense will look at and compare those different backups over time. So beyond just looking at the first pass, it'll look at the backup set comparisons over time and compare different observations of the files or databases. So it'll look how entropy changes. It'll look at file deletions or creations. It'll look at what we call also similarity is another analytic measurement that was created that looks at how files become dissimilar or databases become dissimilar. And we rank that on a score of 0 to 100. So if suddenly on a new backup set you see files becoming very dissimilar, you know that there's been some kind of attack on those files. So I'm not going to go into all the details of these different analytics, but these 40 plus analytics are created with every backup that occurs into the vault. And the next step is really critical. So the next step is we take those analytics and we apply machine learning onto those. So machine learning has been trained using common malware threats that exist on the market today. So we've taken all the common malware threats and trained the machine learning algorithms to understand those malware and the effect of those malware, and then have that malware applied to those 40 plus statistics that are generated or analytics that are generated by CyberSense, and come up with a report, an output report that's basically a yes/no determination that says there's been some level of attack that has occurred or is in process. So with the machine learning algorithms, we're seeing up to 99% accuracy on that analysis of those attacks. And the output will not only give you a yes/no determination saying, hey, yes, everything looks actually no, there's been no sign of an attack, or yes, everything indicates that there has attack that is occurring. If there is an attack, it'll also output not only the identified threat, so it'll tell you which threat is being utilized, and the relevant files and databases that are being attacked. And then the next cycle is just repeat. So as the backups continue to occur within the cyber recovery vault, the CyberSense will continue to work and continue to apply the analytics and the machine learning and report back the results of that scan. So in terms of technical specifications, the backup software supported includes EMC Networker. as well as Avamar. Avamar is new for us in terms of support. We'll be supporting 7.5.10, as well as other common backup formats. Hardware specs, it really depends on the front-end capacity being migrated into the vault, as well as the frequency of the analytics and the frequency of the backups. But basically, CyberSense runs on virtual servers inside the vault, anywhere from 6 to 20 CPUs and 128 to 200 gigabytes of memory for the virtual server. We can spec that out based on the specific data environment. So this is the workflow for CyberSense. You can see on the left is the production environment with the production data domain. And on the right is the vault data domain and the vault environment. So index engine servers would be deployed in the vault. These are virtual servers, as I mentioned. Is the management host, which is the cyber recovery solution. And then optionally some storage that could be in the vault. To be able to help support some of the index engines or CyberSense activity. So the first step obviously is the production backup occurs. Once that's finished, the management host would open up or enable the data domain interface, open the replication port, and replicate the backup into the vault. At that point, the data domain interface is closed. Retention lock occurs. So retention lock is the first step here before index engines are notified. And then once retention lock is done, the management host notifies the index engines or the CyberSense product that replication is complete. CyberSense will index the backups in the vault data domain, and then the analysis and the machine learning is applied automatically within the index engine servers. And then the reports are output outside the vault or to the management host for review. So pretty straightforward process, fully integrated with the cyber recovery product today. So the storage I mentioned in the vault is also usable here. That one of the options is that when you find some level of attack, the specific files or databases that have been attacked could be extracted out of the backup sets. And move to an inspection folder for analysis. So that's one of the options, deployment option for the CyberSense solution. So the key benefits here is that index engines obviously provide some significant value to the cyber recovery vault solution by providing reporting tools that would detect some level of compromise or attack. So it's really focused on finding attacks that include encryption, ransomware, destruction, slow corruption, that are really common types of attacks that are occurring out there today. One of the key benefits of the CyberSense solution is that it performs direct indexing of the content within the backups without the need to rehydrate the data. So rehydrating the data out of backups could result in activating some of this ransomware. So the fact that we're processing all these analytics on a backup image means that we're not going to activate any of the ransomware. No need for the original backup software. So you can use index engines to restore the last good file or database from the backup image, from the previous backup image, when the next one goes bad. And then we're finding that the initial scan of backup image can detect an attack with up to 95% accuracy. And that subsequent passes will increase detection capabilities significantly. So overall, lots of benefits to the Dell EMC cyber recovery solution by adding an additional layer of protection. As I mentioned, we have a number of different papers and a technology overview that goes much deeper into the technology that we can send out to you. Just send us an email at info@indexengines.com and ask for the CyberSense white paper, and we will get that out to you immediately. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it, and look forward to speaking with you in the future.